This is a
Okay,
Cuphead moment.
it is a Cuphead moment. Also, this is at Air Island. We're gonna start with the bottom of the barrel first, because what is your guys' opinion on dipsters?
We started with dipsters.
We starting with dipsters.
I think
Have we
they're
done this
really
before? Because I feel like we might have
good,
done that before.
but yeah.
No. What island?
I don't know. Maybe we didn't.
Either way, dipsters are fucking ass.
No!
I don't know. I don't have an opinion on them on Air Island.
The only thing I can say that's like bleh about them is them in the intro.
Dip, 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 dip. I like the melody of that, but it doesn't fit in the song well.
Yeah, because it's just like that mixed with Cybop mixed with Toe Jammer, it just does not work well. If you mute those two, then I guess it works. But why would you do that?
Yeah. And then afterwards, its last track is just noise.
It's just really loud.
It's just really loud chords, and you don't need that when you have an electric guitar and piano playing the chords already. So like, I don't think like they're not like they're bad, but also they're like not. It's like again, it's the case of they're not terrible, but they don't help the song in any way.
There's
It's
no
better.
reason for them to exist.
There's no reason for them. It's like what's the point in getting them or even making them? It's like the entire. It's like the same thing. It's like adding string to a noun. It's like I want to put string on plant and making a single thing. It's like what's the point if it's just such a small thing and the song is basically unaffected, or you could argue it's affected for the worse.
Yeah.
So like, not good. But hey, it's okay because this is Air Island. And there's not much bad really. So at least we have something to put in the bottom.
That's fair. That's true.
So, tipsters.
Yeah.
Now that we know they suck,
we gotta talk about the other D monster on the island, Trumpler.
Oh, I
Grumpler's
thought you
pretty
meant
good on this island.
I thought you were
meant
gonna
D as in
say
like D tier.
That's what I was
yeah.
thinking.
I was
No.
thinking that, but I was also thinking, for some reason, I thought that Toe Jammer's name was Doe Jammer.
He's
Dojammer, he beats you up. He is sensei.
Because I was just thinking of Toe Jammer.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't
Well-
remember what Trumpler does on this island.
He does.
Isn't he just like transition? I
No.
don't.
The best way to notice him for me is in the intro because it's like doo 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 doo. Everything happens. T-Rex is playing, and
Yeah,
then Congo
Drumpler
and
comes-
Drumpler, Pango, and Congo all come in, and I think it's pretty good. But it's like it's another.
Oh,
it's
I
like
remember
it's like
now,
yeah, it's not bad at all, but it's also like not remarkable really.
It's Trumpler.
It's early age Drumpler where he did do anything.
Yeah,
It's like, yeah, he's good in the song, he impacts the song in a positive way, but you're never gonna notice it.
I
He's
think
just like a little salt, you know.
you know what I gotta say though. The same applies to Pango. Cause I
That's
don't
true.
like. I don't just putting that out there from now. Like that's our opinion on Pango. We don't need to do that one.
Yeah, Pango and Trumpler are the same boat. They're just like, yeah, they're good, they're swag, they help, but they're nothing special. Not good, not top tier, but definitely not bottom tier.
Speaking of top tier, let's talk about one of the only monsters in MSM history to have ever later on in the game gain a track. Like most of these monsters, like once they get their tracks, it's final. But there's a monster on Air Island that at one point in the game's history, later on, just got updated and had a track added to the full song.
Oh, I know what you mean. You mean Rare Wubox, because when he came out, he was just Wubox's sound, but then they
No,
had
that wasn't on Air Island, stupid. That was Water and Earth. If you want to make your reference, do it at the right time. I'm talking about Ma.
Oh.
Ma had another track?
Yeah, so Ma's main track is dee 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 and then that was used to be all that it was. But then later, like I'm pretty sure it was always in the sound files, but never like used in game. But then around I think 2014 or 2015, I'm pretty sure it was in the Globes update or the Recording Studio update, probably Recording Studio. They just added a new thing where Ma just had dee 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 in like the riff, like outro verse, the do 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 do.
Huh.
Oh, that wasn't there?
You know, it used to not be there, but then they added it later on.
That's wild. I
I
mean,
know.
I don't know how well that changes Ma from being like good at worst and pretty good at best.
Yeah. I was gonna say
Yeah,
that's a lot of work for Ma of all monsters, who's just like kind of okay.
yeah, it's decent. It's. I think every single time we do any like natural island, it always just starts like this, just like going through the monsters. Like they're pretty good. Like nothing wrong with them. Like hey, I like the monster, but like that's just the natural islands for you. Really,
Yeah.
there's seldom much that's actually like top tier.
I think
Yeah, it was like
with Ma it's interesting though because Ma, except for Plant Island size exceptions, is always just awful. So I'll take okay, especially for Ma.
Point. Yeah, that's a good point. And honestly, I think it's like it's fairly okay on Air Island because it comes in as like a secondary melody. It's like, hey, that's pretty neat. I like Ma. Like, it's like it's like there's okay. Like some okay is like some piece on Cold Island, and it's more okay than that. It's you kind of was like, huh, I can appreciate that, and I'm
Yeah.
happy about that.
it's a good addition, especially on Ma standards.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yes. Honestly, I think besides Plant Out, I think this is the best Moz voice has sounded ever.
I
Uh,
haven't taken into consideration how Ma sounds on this island. I just know what its composition is.
That's true.
I mean, I feel like Party Island's up there if it wasn't for the loop. It's not the voices problem, it's just the loop.
That's true. Like as overall Party Island Ma, besides that one glaring issue is one thing, but I think like just the voice itself, because I feel like Party. I think I don't know. I am fond of this version of Ma.
Oh, dude, okay, you want to know another monster that I'm just really glad is like kind of really cool on this island?
It's
What?
kind of what?
Kind of really cool on this island. Like I like it a lot.
Ooh.
Flog.
Knew it.
Bro, Fwog is Pog.
Flog is great
Wow.
on this island. Wow. Wow, wow, wow.
It's such a like not Fwog thing, but also it perfectly is Fwog at the same time.
Here's the thing. I think here's the thing. Before this, Fog's old first. Fog came out. He was only on Plant Island, and I feel like this like kind of like changed Fog's direction because I feel like this you feel this fog and every other fog after.
Well, no, because I feel like Water Island is still like it has the Plant Island Fwog in it because it's still kind of just like at the end of the verse transitional kind of fog. But this one's like it's there, but it's like a like frog or Fwog, you know?
Yeah, but
Fog
I mean, yeah, I agree. I kind of see where both of you are coming from because this is a complete departure of what Flog is supposed to do. But also, I see where Bed's coming from because, like, Water Island definitely sounds more like Air Island than Plant Island. It has the same effect as Plant Island, but it sounds more like Air.
Plant Island decided Fog's role. Air Island decided Fog's voice.
Yeah, that's the best way to put it. And all in all,
And
Fog on this island is just rad. I love it.
honestly, I think this Fog is better than Plant Island Fog even.
I
That's
think it's
wild.
just it has more to
Both
work
claim
with.
claim that I'm willing to agree with.
It's like it's just more interesting to think about and to listen to, and overall, like it's also a fog. I think it's easier to appreciate things that are in a song that's still decent and not whatever.
No, it just made me realize
What?
What?
there was that one point where that was a solo because where Fwog plays is this the only thing. It's either Fwog or Schmoochel there, and Schmoochel at one point didn't exist on Air Island, so it was just a Fwog solo.
Yeah.
Reaver used to not be there too.
Yeah, I know.
Think about that. And Wasp.
Oh my god, there's a lot of stuff on this island. A lot of stuff I
I
really
know.
like on this island.
This island, okay, I'm just gonna say this now. Like, I know we usually like talk about the island itself later on, but I'm just gonna say this out. This island is easily my favorite natural island. I think it's easily the best natural island. Like, especially now, because before there was some competition. BB's done a good job at removing that, and then overall, I feel like it's one of my favorite islands overall. Honestly, because like there, besides the original plant island, which is very hard to get your grasps on, I think like listening to Air Out, it's like the one with it's like not the best song you ever hear, but like it's the perfect amount of good song and nostalgia mixed in to just be a pleasant experience.
Mm,
Yeah, it's
And
not
someone who
completely
really helps
dumpster.
that, yeah, and you know who really helps that and like solidify it, like from day one till now, super solid.
what?
Quibble.
Oh yeah.
Quibble's Pog on this island because it's like it's early days Quibble where it didn't really do anything, but this is like the natural island where Quibble really pops off.
Yeah, like Quibble on Cold Island is we know the Cold Island issue, and then Water Island is just four notes. So this is where Quibble really gets to show what it's capable of without going to the extreme levels of Gold Island.
Yeah, it's got that swag counter melody in the I think it's the Tweedle part.
I think it plays in the direct intro. Wait, no, not the direct intro. It's like right after the intro. So I guess it is the
Like where
middle part.
Mammoth plays.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean. And then like that part enough is really good, but then you have that last track, and that's where Tweedle goes from like a 5, or not even. That's where Tweedle goes from like a 7 to a 9,
Wow, I didn't know Tweedle was that high.
or not Quibble. Sorry,
Quibble.
they're both birds that end with bull.
Yeah, sure. Did you know that
Yeah.
Quibble has 3 tracks?
Really?
Yeah, because the one track where it's like the da 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 da,
Yeah, how do
and
you forget that, Olivia? It's like 'cause, it's like it's the first like single note just do 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 do, but then they have like the double notes coming in and getting more intense.
it's like
Huh.
the Bogart on Plant situation where yeah, you have that one track in the Maw part, but then there's that one part where it just does like double notes in there later on in the verse.
I did not know that. I never heard that.
Yeah,
Riff does the same thing too because it's
I
it's
know
a lot
Riff
more
did it.
noticeable on Riff. Riff makes it more noticeable because of like the changes in the riffs itself.
Oh, that's
yeah.
fair.
But
We'll get
yeah,
to Riff
Quibble.
eventually.
Yeah,
Quibble's great.
Quibble. I think the first track, the melody of that first track though, is like it's got a beauty to how simple it is. It's like such a simple but catchy. Like it feels like MSM. It's like I like the only times I can even think of where I really get that kind of feeling. Like it's hard to recapture that feeling of like listening to MSM for the first time. Like it's only things like listening to like My Muppet Show that can even attempt to recapture that feeling. But I feel like Quibble always feels like that. Like
Yeah.
this first track.
It's
It's a
definitely
very
happy.
iconic track.
What were you saying, Olivia?
Oh, I just said it's a very upbeat track.
You know who else is upbeat?
Who?
Who?
I'm trying so hard not to say Box. You know the most upbeat monster T-Rox because he's jumping.
Yeah, and he's got the
T Rox
beat.
is the best T Rox.
What?
Ha, who maybe I don't know. I'm trying to remember.
I
Okay,
mean, he's
what
got
other T Roxes are there?
Tribal Island.
But listen, here's the thing. That's Tribal Island. I don't listen. I like T Rox, and I don't want to have him be depressing by having to say his best island is Tribal.
That's a good
This is the
point.
start of the stupid T-Rox sound where instead of the funny chomp, it was the.
Okay, here's the thing. It's still you say that as if T Rox didn't sound different on every island before, but it's still it still had the T Rox sound even if it wasn't as like metallic as the original plant. That's just the theme of every single thing. Every plant island monster gets slightly watered down on every island afterwards, and then after that, T Rex drowned himself when he went to Dawnfire.
uh, God, I can't believe how much they butchered T-Rox. But that's for
I
a
don't
later date.
consider this. Yeah, this T-Rex isn't butchered. It's watered down, but like the same applies to every single monster that's on Planet Island. Like, so I'm cool with it. And sure, he may not have quite the pack in his punch, the punch and whatever. You know what I mean. He may not
Yeah.
have that as much, but I feel like he makes up for it for his like 4 tracks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
My
love
favorite
T-Rex's last track because when he jumps, if you zoom in close enough, you can see his eyes perk up because he is happy.
Listen, I think of the second track, I mean the second to last and the last track. Okay, actually no, okay. I think all of the tracks are so good because the first track is just the basic Plant Island, just like dum, 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 dum. It's like the basic rhythm. It's setting up the rhythm, and it's all hog. It's all cool. It's all sicko mode. It's like, yo, this is T-Rex on Plant Island, and then they change him up, where they have like slowly transitioning into the next track with doing dum 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 dum. It's like the perfect mix up for percussion. Like it's like again, it's just the perfect mix up for percussion. And then they have the track where he stomps 1 foot at a time to like start hyping things up with like dum 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 dum. And then they like double the bass like and kick it up a notch with the last track where he's jumping up and down and stomping both feet at once and like raving to the climax of the song. It like it's perfectly sets up and lays out Air Island's entire structure of the song. T-Rox is the song structure, and it's percussion wise.
I mean, yeah, pretty much. I don't have anything else I can really add to that.
What about when the Wordos came in and then T-Rox is just jumping for a minute straight?
I mean,
That's
a
not
hype man's got a hype.
that's not T-Rox's fault. That's the song's length fault.
We'll get to that later.
We will definitely get to that later because I got some words to say on that.
Juice.
Yeah. But right
The
now,
spoon.
we gotta talk about another monster whose percussion, and that monster is Noggin.
Yo, this is the best noggin.
Guys,
Did you know
what did we
my singing monster's Air Island noggin is actually Plant Island noggin sound? Find out more at hashtag mysingingfacts.com.
Alright, I think that's all we have to say for Noggin.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, now let's talk about and listen, let's talk about this one is like a weird one. Let's talk about Kongle.
Oh, Kongle. Okay, so it is like a good sample. I don't know if it's a sample if it was in house, but it's definitely like something because
It's solid.
you could definitely hear that is a real performance.
Here's the
I
thing
really
with Kongle, though. I hear it once in the intro, and then I never hear it ever again.
That's true. But also I think its rhythm is cool.
Yeah, but at the
Yeah.
same time, its rhythm is pretty much just like less complicated Pango.
Not really. And here's the thing, even if it is, it's like it's the setup game. You know, you start with Pongo and Pango comes in and takes over. Like you don't hear much often, but I think that's like this like how like again it's just part of like the song's structure. It starts off with like a more percussion based intro, and like you can just hear all these unique cool sounds just playing around in your ears. And then after and Congo is definitely like something that adds a lot to that. So again, it's the same thing as Drumpler and Pango. Honestly, all three of them are solid monsters. It sucks that that's all they do, but that doesn't change the fact that I appreciate them.
Yeah. Alright, we only have like one more percussion, so we might as well get it out of the way now, besides obviously you know who. We have never really had a chance to talk about Scups before.
I was about to say that. It's like we've never really talked about Scups because the one time we had Scups, it was Gold Island.
I feel like a lot of people are curious what we think about Scups as a monster.
He's a very unique and very well done monster. Fucking suction cups. It's the most MSM thing ever, and it works.
I love, isn't it, shoot, I can't remember if it's Air Island or Water Island where he has like the hype percussion second track.
Yeah, no, that's Air Island. Because
All right.
because first track is the, and then like the
Yeah, it's a.
Yeah, we get his stuck foot, his foot stuck, and then he has to smudge it out.
That last part of the hype track is like really, really interesting rhythmically.
It's
I love
interesting.
Scups on this island.
He's so like, I wish people did that more. That's the good way to do a relink situation where it's obviously like Scups isn't meant for that to happen in the animation. Like you can tell that's like Scups doing something wrong, but it works so well and it's so good.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
love
I
the
think
rhythm. It's
literally
just
just
like a.
depends percussion and rhythmic stuff and not notes.
It's just such
It
it,
just
it. It leads to such like a unique rhythm, and I love it.
Yeah, I think Scups is amazing. I think Scups is an amazing monster overall. It definitely is like very MSM, as is most things from the Naturals.
I wish MSM could like recapture a bit of early Scups in the newer ones because it feels like they don't really try as much with Scups anymore.
he's just basic rhythm, basic suction sounds. They don't do anything with him
But then
anymore.
you listen to Water and Air Island, you're like, bro, Scups is popping off.
Listen, here's the thing. You know how you can tell Scups is amazing?
How?
In the OG Air Island remix, they give him like a 2 minute, so not 2 minutes, like a 30 second to a minute long solo.
Yeah, and it works.
It works really good, actually. It's like it's rhythmic, but it's like the kind of percussion that's so interesting that in a way it can take melody.
Yeah,
The kind of shit I want.
that's the kind of
It's
stuff I look forward to when I play MSM.
it's amazing. Scups is amazing. Well, I don't even think people sleep on Scups. Honestly, I think I wish people appreciated it more, but I don't think he's underrated even.
It's not that
He's just
he's
a
underrated, it's just that, like, you, he's. I mean, I guess it's underrated, but, like, you don't expect much from it, so why would you bother looking into it?
That's true. He's sick though.
You know what? Another monster we never got to, like, actually talk about? We only got to talk about its stupid gimped stupid version?
Yostrich?
No, Pom Pom.
What do you
Um,
mean?
We only talked to about the freaking English speaking version on Cloud Island.
we talked about Gold Island Pom Pom.
Gold Island,
Yeah, but that was Gold Island.
Psychic Island.
Yeah, Psychic Island Pom Pom.
Yeah.
Listen, here's the thing. I don't have much to say about Pom Pom because Pom Pom is one of the most polarized monsters. Everyone either hates this monster or loves this monster.
What side are you leaning to?
Here's the thing. I don't understand either really because I don't think Pom Pom's that much of a good monster. But I also like I don't like hear Pom Pom go, no, no, I can't hear this to Pom Pom ever again. It's just more so like Pom Pom doesn't do it for me, but and like it just feels like weird, and that's I don't know, just like a weird. It's not. I don't think it's terrible. I just think it's like, oh, this monster. I think it's funny to hate on Pom Pom, but I also don't genuinely think it's terrible.
Alright, but can I at least say that, I mean, I think you'll agree with me, but in my opinion, this kind of Pom Pom is still leagues better than the stupid Dawn of Fire one.
I mean, it's hard to compare them because they are they're the same thing, but like they're so different in the way that they perform, but also not.
Oh, there goes Pommy. Oh well. Yeah, but like, it's just like, this Pom Pom feels more MSM here. Hello.
Hello, Pommy again. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
We are talking about Pom Pom.
Yeah.
Hug.
I can definitely agree that this Pom Pom is like yes, I would 100% take Air Island Pom Pom over the Continent or Cloud Island Pom Pom any day.
Space is a close to air. Like, I like space, but
I think
Pom,
Space is better than Air.
I can see that. I think Air's issue, like if we're just going to talk about Air itself, I think the issue with Air Island Pom Pom is just that it's way too sudden and loud.
I have to say one thing. Fuck Pom Pom when the Wordles come in.
Oh, absolutely.
Please get that out of here.
Yeah, you can say that for a lot of things. Actually, mostly 2 things. 3 things.
Listen, I just want to say this right now. For the life of me, the entire time, like all that was happening, I was trying to remember what the hell she did, and I just remembered what she did on the sound. And I'm just gonna say, like, I definitely forgot how irritating she is. She definitely has a huge irritating factor of just like her screaming, "Hey Nana, hey Nana, hey Nana, hey no."
Especially after it comes on after, like, I'm pretty sure Tweedle. So you got Tweedle singing all the, like, kind of loud, but also, like, the soft, just la 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 la, hey Nana.
Yeah, Air Island is definitely like one of those islands where it like starts off a little bit like it's like a lot more tame. It's a tamer song and like builds up. That's his thing. But Pom Pom doesn't feel like it follows that at all. So
With
it just like yeah, I don't think it's I think that it's just the main problem is just its voice and like the idea of Pom Pom, like it makes perfect sense. It's a cheerleader, it's like gonna be screaming and cheering. But also like just because it makes sense doesn't mean it's good.
what if it was Air Island Pom Pom, but with Party Island Pom Pom's voice?
I, I mean, maybe, but I feel like that wouldn't work either, because like you can't be cheering while also whispering.
That's fair. All right, but what about Pom Pom's partner in crime?
Yostrich.
No, we'll get to Yostrich, but we can't talk
I
about
think
Pom
Hula
Pom
is.
and forget Hula.
I think Hula is leagues better than Pom Pom because its voice fits the song better. She's like, "That's hey nana, hey nana, hey nana, hey lo." But also at the same time, I think the problem with Hula is that it cannot exist without Pom Pom. Like both, like it just can't exist without Pom Pom, and that's what drags it down. It's like, oh, Hula's cool. Okay, then it's like really awkward without Pom. It's like, okay, I guess I have to unmute Pom Pom too. It's like, oh, I guess that means I don't. Never mind.
Yeah.
It's
It's
a
like
nice concept, but it's limiting in execution.
it's
I
like
do
it's like
agree.
if you go to a restaurant that has it's like bro it's like if you go to a pizza restaurant where like the toppings are great but the crust is complete garbage. It's like bro, I'm glad they have such amazing toppings. I agree they're good, but I'm not gonna risk the foundation falling apart just so I can get the good toppings.
Yeah. I
Hula
mean,
does have a way better voice in terms of like pleasantness, and yes, I would listen to this compared to Pom Poms.
but what about when
So with
she
Pom Pom and
says,
Pom Pom didn't exist,
uh-oh?
I think that would be.
What, Seth?
But what about when she says, uh-oh, and it's all cute and ooh-woo?
It's not even that ooh though. It's still like the same like
Listen,
voice. It's not
whenever
alone like Goldhammer.
listen, whenever anyone says "uh-oh," all I think of is someone drawing Hula in a diaper, and then she poos in her diaper and says "uh-oh," like a baby.
That's awful.
Why? That's the worst thing I've ever heard in my
The
life.
people need to know.
Alright,
No, they don't.
Ryan, it's time. Now you finally get your wish. We get to talk about the best bird monster on the island, Tweedle.
Tweedle. Yes. 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 Let's fucking go, Tweedle. You are average.
I think that's a good way to put it. I think people like honestly. I think Tweedle's kind of overhated, at least especially like on Air Island. Like certain islands later, I understand it, but with this specifically, like she's not super loud like Pom Pom. She doesn't have like 500 voices going on at once like Gold Island. It's nothing. It's nothing. Like, I don't think it's anything bad. It's more so just like it's there.
Yeah. Oh,
Here's my take on Tweedle on Air Island. Like, I think, like, we can all consider Water Island and Air Island completely different Tweedles in terms of what they're trying to do, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
I will take Water Island Tweedle any day because Air Island's Tweedle sounds obnoxious to me. It's like it's not pom pom levels, but it's like almost there, where it's like obnoxiously almost crunchy.
What about comparing Air Island to the previous island, Cold Island?
I forgot Tweedle was on Cold Island.
Yeah, Cold Island and Water Island, I feel like are the same Tweedle to me, where it's like a lot more clean, I guess. It's not like I really can't explain it other than it's just not as obnoxious sounding.
I mean, that's a good way to put it. It is a very obnoxious one.
That's fair. For me, I prefer. For me, I was like, I'm kind of the opposite because like I can see the obnoxiousness of it, but the fact that it's not the level of pom pom is enough for me to tolerate it. So tolerable is good, and then also like the general voice is fine for me. Like just like besides like the crunchiness stuff about it, it's like it's an overall fine voice. While with the Water Island, it's like yeah, it's clean, but at what cost? Like, it's like I really don't like Water Island Tweeter. Honestly, it sounds like it's drowning, and I want to put it out of its misery.
Well, we'll eventually get to talk about Water Island.
Yeah,
Listen,
but yeah,
Tweedle can go two ways. It can go painfully obnoxious or painfully shrill, and I'm glad that this island's kind of got a median point between the two.
that's true. At the end of the day, no matter how good or bad it is, I definitely think it's just impactful enough to like, yeah, it makes sense. It should be in the song, but it's like it's to the point where it's like, I was like, God, I want to mute it. I don't know. Basically, I'm just trying to say it's good enough, and that's all it is.
Yeah, it just does the bare minimum.
I wish it pulled some slack, but I can. It's not like the island is ruined by it. That's what I'm trying to say. Really,
Ah,
the
dude,
island isn't ruined, so I'll take it.
I'm looking at the list, and you want to know what I think is like probably one of, I don't want to say the most slept on track, but I the one that I feel like not enough people talk about.
Yostrich.
You know what? Fine, because I love Yostrich.
Listen, here's the thing. The ostrich would be good if the Weirdos didn't exist.
Yes.
I have
And
something to say about Yostrich.
What do
What?
you have to say about Yostrich?
Not much, but as someone who has played the PS Vita version of the game without like cheating and buying like diamonds and stuff to speed things up, I can tell you that it took me 3 months maybe to get Yostrich. No, make that 4 actually. 4 months to get a Yostrich. I don't even play it on my PS Vita anymore. And when they said that the mythicals were being released to the actual games, I got so sad because I wasted so much time. Anyways, what I
Yeah, but
also wanted
Paul-
to say was in the PS Vita version, the sound was a little bit crunchy because you know it's just a little
It's a
thing.
Vita version.
it's Vita.
That just made it sound really good for it to just be a bit crunchy. Anyways, I'm done. That was it.
Are you
Thank
going to
you.
go back to being dead again?
Yep.
No.
Pommy
Yeah,
got
but
owned.
yeah, but Pommy, you have to answer. Was it worth it?
No, not at all.
You're saying Yostrich isn't worth it?
Okay, yes, the ostrich is worth it. I like the ostrich. It used to be my favorite monster, but now it is not.
Listen, Yostrich on the Vita version is like leagues better than Yostrich in the current version.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
it doesn't have the sound problem it does.
Yeah, Yostrich has bad mixing and also a horrible, horrible loop.
Plus, in the PS Vita version, there's no wordos or dipsters, so it's more fresh.
Yeah,
What does Yostrich do? I can't hear it in the song right now.
I
He go,
know.
he go,
listen,
wee wah, 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 wah.
like yeah, I think Yosh is just like It's a great monster. Its animation is great. Its design is great. Its sound is great. But like, I don't even know what they were doing when it comes to this version of it, because like at the end of the day, we have to rank it based on this version. Like, and in the final version, it is like not worth even bothering with.
Which sucks
Like,
because Yostrich is one of my favorite vocal tracks in MSM.
I know, but it's like here's the thing. Like, first of all, it's one of the hardest monsters in the game to breed. So you spend 4 months doing it, and then after you spend those 4 months, you have to spend that time like 7 more times to get enough to hear it. And then once you do it, awkwardly cuts off. It just like it plays once, stops, awkwardly cuts off, and plays. That's pauses the entire song.
Yeah.
So it's like wow, it wasn't worth it because they completely butchered the placements.
And we're gonna get to the placements later with the other monsters for foreshadowing.
Yostrich is a great monster on Air Island, but also on Air Island, it's not that great.
Yeah, pretty much. Do you have anything to add, Ryan?
No, it's just Yostrich's Lupus ass. Thanks to
It
extendations.
used to be such a breath. Yostrich used to be such a breath of fresh air. Like when it came out, it was like, wow, it's something new and it's something different. I wasn't expecting this, and like I feel like it was. I feel like it was a bigger, fresher breath air than even Gajube was. Like, because Yostrich just feels so much more different,
Yeah.
and it's so interesting.
Okay.
And then, yeah.
So picture this. You are playing MSM for the first time. You finish your cold island, you unlock Air Island, you go to Air Island, you get your single elements, and you realize there's one double combo left.
Oh,
you get
my
Cybop for the
God.
first time.
No, I thought you were talking about the real double element Flower because he's on this island.
No, he's not. But I want to talk
Yeah.
about Cybop.
Cybop's pretty cool. I got a little story, you know. I think he's pretty cool. So
Tell us your
I
little
remember
story.
that again, PS Vita version was the first time I ever played the game, and I got Cybop. I was like, oh, that's cool. And so like a few years later, when I played the actual game on like a device, I think it was on BlueStacks or whatever. For the longest time, I thought Cybop was an ethereal for some reason, and Rebro was just there.
He is very ethereal. I can say that as the
He's kind of
Cybop guy.
jubbly.
Listen, as the Cybop guy, Ryan, it is your job to tell us how Cybop's opening performance was. No pun
I
intended.
get it.
Ryan's gonna be wrong.
No reference
Ryan's gonna
intended.
be wrong.
Okay. So Cybop, he is very different. This is the first time Cybop has appeared, and it's like, bro, this is a Plant Island scenario where the first Cybop appearance is way different than every other Cybop. Is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? Answers may vary. In my opinion, I don't think so, because it's not scatting at that point, because later Cybops are scatting, and this one's just warbling, but it's a warbling that works, so I'm not particularly like.
So it's not good or bad, it's just different.
Boo!
No, I'm not saying it's like decent. I'm saying it's a good Cybop. It's just not a Cybop that I'm willing to fuck with.
Listen, here's my take on it. Okay, I think I think is a good way to put it.
What?
It's like Fwog. I don't think anyone can with confidence say that like Fwog's voice is better or worse. It's just different. It's a completely different Fwog. They changed it completely. But like it's not like, bro, oh my god, Fwog's voice is so much better now. It's like, no, it's still Fwog. It's still good. It's just really, really different on Plant and like everything else. Like, I appreciate both of them. And like I may have my preference, but at the end of the day, like I don't think besides like this like it's like changing up the pepper to different spices. It's just changing up the spices. It's gonna give you a different flavor, but I think it's still good either way. I think the same applies for Cybop. I don't care what Cybop it is. I think Cybop sounds good either way. But
That's
also,
what I was saying.
I particularly am very partial to this Cybop because this Cybop made Cybop my favorite monster before it was Fangler.
Understandable. The Cybop had a lot to carry, being the last double element on the natural islands.
I didn't even think about it in that way when I got it, because my experience with Cybop was going to random top islands and seeing Cybop on Air Island randomly. Before I even had cooldown, I think.
I think that's what I did, but instead of Air Island, it was Gold Island. I listened to the song, I'm like, bro, this song is sick. Until later opinions arise. And then I heard Cybop, and I'm like, bro, this Cybop is popping off. He is, dude, this guy's sick. And then I go to Air Island, and I'm like, what?
That's fair.
Ryan, you are breathing into your microphone.
Listen, I think Cybop is sick on Air Island. I think it's one of the perfect. It's a perfect thing to open the song with. It's very different and it's very distinct. And also, if we're going to talk about Cybop, I think we have to talk about the thing that makes Cybop in the intro, and that's Toe Jammer.
Ooh, yeah. Toe Jammer is Pog Jammer.
Pog Jammer.
Listen.
I don't think either of those monsters can function on Air Island without the other. They're like the perfect duo on air.
I agree. But also, I feel like Toe Jammer has his footing on this island because if you remove Cybop, Toe Jammer is still pogging off.
That's true.
Toe
I feel like
Jammer
it
is
doesn't.
just such a risk versus reward monster. It's either it sucks ass or it's like really good.
It's really good when they do it what it's supposed to do.
Badu.
This is one of the most quotable Toe Jammers.
First Toe Jammer. Did any other Toe Jammer ever get a ba after this?
Hold on,
What?
Because like you get Badu up. I don't think any other Toe Jammer ever did that after air.
Do continent space. Just do
No.
Psychic Island is do. Bone Island is.
Doo-wah.
Yeah, you never had a ba after that.
You know, honestly, now that I think about it, they really just cucked Toe Jammer after Air Island. Like they got rid of his wa even most of the time. It's just only do, and I think that's part of why Bone is great because they give him back his balls.
What?
Listen, here's the thing, okay? Toe Jammer went to a water island. It's like, no, Toe Jammer, you have to be very perfect on this island. You know, you can't have anything wrong with you, and part of that means you have to get a vasectomy. He's like, no, and then afterwards, once he goes to Bone Island, he's like, you know what? That's it. I'm done. Give me my balls back, and he gets his balls back.
I see.
You know, I agree.
Yeah.
Toe Jammer ain't the same without his balls.
Exactly.
Toe Jammer's
And
pretty good.
amazing on this island with Typa.
They are the dream team. You know, it's fitting into the theme of monsters kind of departing from what they usually do. There is one other colossal changed monster for Air Island.
Rebro.
No, Mammoth.
What? Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I forgot Mammoth was Mammoth, Air Island Mammoth.
I think Air Island Mammoth's absolutely amazing.
It's doing what a monster is not supposed to do,
Should
right?
do.
Because it's still Mammoth. Like, it's like you hear that and you're like, oh, that's what Mammoth would do.
It's like it makes perfect sense too. It's like they didn't have the room for the bums. It's like, hey, you know what? What if we made Mammoth do long notes?
And it's so cool.
Honestly, I feel like this is the basiest Mammoth personally.
And he has more to work with for bass
Exactly.
notes.
Like you know, like with you don't get to hear the bass as much, I feel. But with this it's like bleeding bass, and it's for bass lovers, but not the fish, the instrument. It's just complete bliss.
Well, yeah,
I
because
get
when
that
you're
reference.
bum, half of the voice is being filtered out because you're humming. There's not as much voice being protruded. So
Exactly.
there's a lot more happening.
Listen, here's the thing, okay? Mammoth, he's got himself like a sack of bass like under his chin. He's like it's like the thing that like turkeys or chickens have. That's his bass sack. And it's like, oh yeah, it's pretty cool. And he's just like it's like what he does like it's like almost like a clown nose. He's like bloops it so it's let a little bass out. But with this, he's like, you know what? No, and then he cuts it open and lets all the bass bleed out everywhere, and it's amazing.
What is your analogies in this? This is the point.
It's great.
First, you're talking about hula with diapers. Then you're talking about toe jam with balls. Now you're talking about Mammoth cutting open his snoot so all his bass can go out.
It makes sense though.
I mean, you're not wrong. But
This island is a sea of bass thanks to Mammoth, and it's beautiful.
He also comes in at the great part, like a great part for him to take
I
some
thought
bass
you were going to
off.
say he also comes.
No, like
please, this episode.
The part of the island where he starts playing is like the perfect moment for him to come in.
Well, yeah, it's after the intro, and it's the verse is being solidified, and it's like the first major verse.
Yeah. If only there wasn't something obnoxiously sing-talking over everything in that part.
You're right, and it's Rebro. I hate Rebro.
Rebro doesn't even play at that part, I'm pretty sure.
He doesn't. He only plays once in the entire song.
No, we finally got...
Okay, twice.
I want to talk about Rare Wobbox, because I hate...
Worst Rare Wobbox.
This Rare Wobbox.
This is bottom of the barrel.
I despise this Rare Wobbox. Dude, do you ever want to hear the exact same, like, 4-bar rhythm? 8 bars in a row? Or 8 phrases in a row?
Yes, that's exactly what I want to hear.
Well, then come to
Rare Wobbox just... It feels like it's like you just like took a random audio and reversed it and dude, that's cool, and sampled that.
I bet. You know how earlier you were talking about how T-Rox perfectly sets like the pace and tone for Air Island?
Yes.
Wobbox literally just does the exact opposite.
Yes, he does. And listen, chill. Like I think throughout talking, there's been very few bad low points that we've talked about so far. And you know what those low points have been so far? The only times we've ever done it, like so far, we got Tweedle, Pom Pom, and Dipsters. And do you notice the common complaint among them?
They were all really loud.
Very loud, very obnoxious, and that's the definition of Rare Wobbox on this island.
But you also have to throw in repetitive as hell.
Yeah, if it's like, listening to Rare Wobbox is like watching a Nostalgia Critic video, but being there with him.
You're just not stopping.
He's just screaming at your face and like punching the camera. You're like, what are you doing, you man-child?
You know what's one very specific thing that I do not like about Rare Wobbox?
What?
Is he plays when Pom Pom and Hula come in afterward. So it's just literal noise for that verse because it's both Pom Pom, Hula, and Rare Wobbox all punching each other.
And Dipsters, that's also when Dipsters do the second...
Dip. That whole section is just literal noise of just melodies trying to take over one another and King of the Hilling each other.
But then they all just fall off.
And drown in the sea of bass.
Yeah. Rare Wobbox just destroys the island.
This island. I really wish he didn't exist, because if he didn't, this island would probably be an S tier.
I don't know about that.
Okay, listen. Shh.
There is another.
There's a few others that we're looking at right now.
I bet you gotta remember, there's not just one Wobbox on this island.
Yeah, I know. There's also Riff.
What?
Rebro.
I was
Listen. Okay, I think we should talk about Rebro first.
alright, Rebro. Very interesting.
I don't like Rebro on this island. It's like Shelby, but in 1 or 2 verses, where it's just literal noise percussion that doesn't do anything.
Here's the thing: you have to keep in mind, Ryan. Think about the first verse it plays. Think about who else plays in there, and then decide who really is the one to blame.
Yeah, it's Fwog and Schmoochel.
And Wubbox. You keep forgetting that's the verse Wubbox plays in.
I have my Wubbox muted on Air Island, and Rebro is still obnoxious.
Okay, that's a good point. Then fair enough. I don't think he's that bad, but also I do agree he does more bad than good.
He's definitely not the worst ethereal on like
Here's the thing.
natural islands.
That's definitely true. There's, I don't know if there's, I don't. Okay,
There's
that's a different talking
Grumpire.
point. Okay, that's Grumpire. He isn't. Okay, I think the best way to put this is, uh, there's some sacrifices that are worth it. I'm fine with like a single shitty verse if it means I get Ethereal Island Rebro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he isn't good on this island, but I don't care if he's good on this island because he's already carried his weight.
He's not good on this island, but it's not like he's obnoxiously bad.
Unlike
He's just like,
the last percussionist.
this Wubbox is so fucking. This Wubbox is great to me because you listen to the Cold Island Wubbox and you're like, oh yeah, it's that rhythm, if you can call it a rhythm, and then you get to Air Island and it's literally the same exact like loop, dubstep loop that they use, but they
For
add
the intro.
yeah, and then they add obnoxious drums that makes Wubbox bad on top of it.
No, here's what they do. Okay, Wubbox, Cold Island, bad, not good. I don't want to listen to it. I don't want anyone else to have to ever endure it. Not good. Okay, and like, okay, we have to put this on this sound. It's like, yo, what if you make it the same loop? It's like, first of all, people have paid 75 million coins for that, and also it's Wubbox, so we can't do that. And we also already did it with Algon. We can't pull off the same trick twice. Okay, so then how do we make this different? I got it. What if we just like shot off an AK-47 into the air and made that sound?
It's just.
It's like shit. That's exactly what it is. It's just like it's like Cold Island in the background.
It's so not good.
The only Wubbox that I think is like worse than this is
Water. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's basically just it's like basically just like doing the same thing, but not having instead of the AK-47, it's just like the idea of putting the most heavy like percussion possible in a super peaceful song.
But like Wubbox on air is just irritating, and like Ryan said with Pom Pom, this motherfucker coming back at the ending of the song with the weirdos, like, murders me.
It's so terrible. That part plays where Schmoochel plays too.
Yes.
I think we should talk about Chill now, but to end transition, I just like want to talk about what it's like because it's like if Smoochell's like, yes, we are lovey, do 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 do, they're just floating in slowly, calmly, just about to grace the world with their presence, and then Wabox decides to be like, nah, bro, and then afterwards he makes an edit and he makes it MLG super dank dubstep Smoochel.
I just imagine. Here's what I imagine. So imagine we're playing Danganronpa 2, right? And you have Schmoochel being Monami, and then Wabox comes in being Monokuma, and he fires his super laser gun and kills Schmoochel.
I hate how accurate that is.
Exactly, he uses his AK-47.
Pommy, isn't that so true?
It's so
Yeah,
true.
I guess.
Dude, Wubbox
Anyways,
is
Schmoochel.
Monokuma. I love Smoochel. It's my favorite seasonal.
It's the best seasonal. Like,
Yeah, it's good.
by far.
Listen, all right. Punkleton is swag, and he's cool. Yule is
Punkleton has the
nothing.
season.
Punkleton has the best season. Yule is nothing.
Nothing.
Blabbit is boring, and Hula is annoying. But then you got Smoochel, who's like completely standing out as like it's the only monster that stands on its own.
It's very creative and
I
not
think it
the
doesn't stand on
worst.
its own. If there's two of them.
Oh my
Yeah, you're right.
God,
Takes 2 beds.
It is the most unique seasonal, and it's also the best performing seasonal, and also it's my favorite seasonal.
Yeah, it's good. I like its track a lot on this island. I'd like it more if I could hear it. Yeah. Also, I like its animation. It's very subtle, but like it leans back and forth depending on which head is singing, and I like that.
Yeah,
It's a very inspired monster.
it is a very inspired monster. If only I could say the same for its rare and epic.
Chocolate.
Blue.
Chocolate, air horns, and muscles.
Okay, now. Okay, yeah. Okay, so like we got some monsters left, right? There's an obvious one to save for last, but I feel like Air Island is a good enough island to end it on a good note, so I think we should tear off like the duct tape instead of the band-aid.
We've been
Rich.
no, we've been foreshadowing to this for like almost the whole video. It's
It's
finally
episode 1.
It's finally time to talk about the downfall of Air Island.
Aw.
Listen, this is what everyone considers the best Wordos.
Are they
And
high?
I can see, listen, best Wordos doesn't mean good. That's what I'll say.
What do you
Yeah.
mean? Tucker's not on this island.
Listen, that's not what I'm saying. No, best Wordos in like best pair, because I don't care what
The
Talker
best
does.
performance.
It's like the best pair of Wordos on an island. I can agree with that, but that doesn't mean it's good.
These weirdos extended the song by like almost double, I'm pretty sure.
And it's really boring.
Yeah, you guys really like hearing that last chord progression? Well, prepare to hear it 4 more times.
It's like the big. Okay, just thinking about it, because it's just like it's like the song builds up. It has this perfect build up, and then it reaches its climax. Like, yes, that's the climax. Just the kind of climax where like even if nothing leads after, it's like yeah, you're still like on that hype high, and you're like, bro, yes, that was a great. It's like the after party in my mind, and then afterwards, instead of like, bro, what if Paul Sona kept going, and then afterwards like okay, like it's one thing to extend the song, but then you know what they did with extending the song? Instead of having it be like, okay, you know what? It'll be like slow down again and slowly build up. Nope, it's a slowdown right into the climax again, into a slowdown, into the climax again. It doesn't make any structural sense.
Who comes first, Stuart or
Steward.
Carlson?
Yes,
Okay.
Stuart plays in in like the outro.
Yeah.
Original.
Fuck you, Stuart. I hate you. You ruin all flow of the song because you reach the climax of the song, but then Stuart comes in and you're like, what? What are you doing? It's like when you're drawing fucking like you're drawing a circle, right? But then you accidentally like make the loop whenever you go to connect one end to the other, and you accidentally like make it like not a perfect circle, and one of the loops goes up too high, so then you have to erase it and then make sure it connects the dots, but then it looks like it has a little bump on the end of it, and that's how it works because you get rid of the hype. That's the ending, and then you're like, oh bro, erase that, and you erase half the monsters when Persona comes in, and then you put it back together in the chorus verse whenever they're both playing at the same time, and it's not even a circle anymore.
It's like if Plant Island went to the Sugar Bush verse and you just cut out the Aunt Brat part.
No, you take the Sugar Bush verse, put it where the Entbrat verse was supposed to be,
and then put Entbrat after.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know what they were doing.
Fun fact: the castle bass does not play when Persona comes in, and for the rest of the entire song, the castle bass just does not exist anymore.
Really?
It like Stu Warp comes in, end of the song, and then the extension happens, and the castle bass is gone. So it's just
No,
a
you
clear
don't understand.
fault.
It's listen. Here's the thing. It's so nostalgic though, because it's like how the song used to be when you first got around and you only had 3 monsters. Except that's the official part of the song now.
Yeah, my favorite 3 monsters: T-Rex, Riff, and Maw.
No, listen. Here's the thing. Listen, it's like they're like, okay, who do we bring back for this outro? I got it. The most memorable monsters of all time. Everyone loves them. We need Rebro and Wabox and Pom Pom. Like,
So flawed.
like before the Weirdos, like that it still had Redwax and Wabox and the Dipsters, but also like the song ended and it was noisy, but it was a climax, so it worked. It was like it's something. It's like you like, appreciate it anyways. But now it's like a climax. It's basically now the song ends the way it did before, it's like, as a climax, but also they like kept all the shit that no one cared about and took away everything else that was actually good. And also, this is the Weirdos are the sole reason Yostrich is a bad monster now, because
Yep.
Yostrich is made to like come in at the end perfect. It's like, oh yeah, and it comes in this part. Like for some reason, like, nah, bro, that won't work with the flow, so we have to completely change it now. And it's like constantly on and off. It's like, what are you doing?
He ends on a low, low, and the song ends, and it's like, wait, that's not how that works.
It's not. And then there's also the fact that, like I was alluding to earlier, this extension completely, like, destroyed that chord progression for me. Because it just plays so much, and it's not even an interesting melody, because it's just...
Yeah, but you're not paying attention to that. You have to pay attention to Pearl Soda and Stu Warp, and they're very interesting melodies that are not even there for half the
It's
verse.
not even... Yeah, they freaking pause for like 3 whole seconds between lines.
They pause. Nothing takes in that spot like what Ma does with Talker. So it's just, and now that you have landed, together we will share. It's like, what?
Yeah, it's just boring. It's so boring.
It's it's just like this. It's like if they were danging Rampa sprites, it'd be like they're like, and it's like they're singing it, it's just, and that you have landed, and then it's like the Junko sprite where she's just looking straight forward.
I wonder if people will be able to tell what game we played recently.
Literally, okay, no lie, whenever I was doing that Pearl Sona thing, as I paused, I was literally just straight faced like Junko.
That's just what it is, though. And
It
like
is.
again, like I can understand people. I think the Weirdos themselves are good, but like
Oh,
it's another Plant Island situation of like, I don't care how good you sound, you ruined the perfect structure of the song.
yeah, performance-wise, the Weirdos are kind
Amazing.
of pog.
Listen, I think performance-wise, these are easily the best Weirdos. Definitely, 100%. Like I love Stu Harb's voice so much,
They have
but
one of
like
the best
here's the thing.
duets.
I love Morgan Freeman's voice. I don't want him singing and halfway through my song.
It takes a while to get to it, but once you finally get to like that last part, their duet is great together. Just like, you can't see me in the sky, and yet you don't know how to fly. Like, I really like that part. Too bad we had to wait like 20 seconds to get to it.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. You know, here's the thing. This is gonna be Omega Pog in the remix, in the soundtrack. I'm so hyped for that. It's gonna sound so good, but that doesn't change the fact that it sounds complete ass in game right now.
Yeah.
Alright, but which one's better, Pearl Sona or Stu Warp?
Stuarb, Sparlstona is
Pearl Sona's just really boring.
Boring.
Stuarb has interesting things going for it. The only thing you could really hold against it is just like how nasally he gets on the final track.
I'm cool with that. It's funny.
It is funny, but it's also like not
It's
really musical.
I mean, yeah, I guess.
It's
But,
just like I
it's
would rather he just say it normally instead of "Take a leap of faith with me."
but then just can you feel it?
Yeah, that
It's
part
in
makes up
the
for
air.
it.
Exactly.
It's like over singing, but like really, really good over singing.
Listen,
Fun
it's not.
fact.
It's like it's not over singing. It's like going dramatic without turning into over singing. Like people try to they go to the next step and they over sing instead. Stewart tries to go to the next step and he does it. It's just too bad that step is off. Like it's like that last he makes that last step, but then that step is missing and he just plummets down to the bottom of the mountain
Yeah.
because it's, the thing. It's like they're good, but it's like experimenting something that doesn't need to be experimented because Air Island is like I feel I don't know if I'm the only one, but I've always just been really really passionate on like studying the structures of MSM songs and like the differences between them, how they work, and like all the structures are honestly a lot more intricate than you'd expect from MSM. And it's really easy to just completely mess those over when you just add a bunch of random stuff to the end of the climax. It just makes everything drag on forever.
Dragon? He's not even on this island.
You're, what are you talking about? Have you not listened to
The
what's it
remake,
called?
the soundtrack.
Yeah,
You're right.
we forgot to rank Clamble.
Oh, you're right.
You know,
All right.
Clipple's pretty poppin'.
So that's the weirdos. They're great, but they're awful for the song.
Yes, great wordos, but it doesn't feel MSM.
All right, I'm gonna make
It's
the boldish claim: great weirdos, but their song impact is the worst.
I Hmm. Listen, I can't. Listen, here's the thing. At the end of the day, I don't think there's anything more iconic than Plant Island original. And
That's
to change
true.
that, it just feels like a knife to the chest.
That and Cold Island.
Listen, listen. Here's the thing. Listen, I can forgive that because it's just Cold Island sucked. And then afterwards, they tried to save it, and then Macby just showed Talker his place.
Yeah. At
It's
least,
checks and balances.
at least some good came out of the Cold Island one because of Talker. With Air Islands, like, yeah, they sound good, but you have to literally ruin the song to get that.
It break the song. It's like if someone's like, I want to do an experiment and see what would happen if sheeps had three knees, and you could succeed, but that
What?
doesn't. Okay, just imagine it. It's like you do that. It's like, yes, I want to see what happens if a sheep has three knees. So they do a bunch of surgeries and give the sheep three knees, and then the sheep are like constantly falling over, and their legs are all broken constantly. It's like, yes, I guess this works. What did you accomplish?
Alright, I think that's enough talking about the weirdos. Which means we have one more thing to talk about. We saved
Yostrich.
the most important for last. It's
The
time to talk
castle.
about Riff.
We were supposed to keep them like 30 seconds to try to guess it.
No.
Alright, guys. What do you guys think it's gonna be? Put it in the comments below.
No, because
Dun,
whenever
dun.
it's 30 seconds, we just Junko pose front view.
Yeah, I'll just put it in the podcast just this whole time.
Okay, guys. What is the last monster? Is it Yostrich? No. Is it Rebro?
No.
No.
You're doing
Is
it
it
all wrong.
Enfra?
It's not supposed to be
Yeah.
read like
What?
that. It's supposed to be like,
No, it's
is
not
it
Enfra.
Yostrich? No. There's always a break.
Oh, you're right.
Hey, man.
I was making a reference.
It was too good.
Can we please talk about Riff now?
Okay.
Yeah, he's extremely pog.
What about the
Riff,
fact that for some reason a lot of people want to kiss Riff?
uh,
Like me?
Listen, here's the thing. A lot of people want to kiss Riff, and some people want Riff to piss.
Stop.
Yo, you know who you are. You're a legend.
Me?
Hello?
Hello?
Hello.
Okay, so listen, here's the thing. When it comes to Riff, okay, I think okay, with Air Island, if you want the song structure, just get Quibble, T-Rox, and Riff. That's all you need.
Yeah, pretty much. Dude, it sucks. Like, I'm glad we did Cave Island really early, but the worst thing about doing Cave Island early is that we had to talk about that riff first. Like, that was Riff's introduction to YSM.
Riff is the perfect quad, honestly.
At least on this island.
It's yeah, well, yeah, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like in this kind of sense, like
Oh, like,
a
yeah,
quad
okay.
functioning as a quad. I think it's the perfect quad because like it like not only does it do the thing because with quads there's two options: make it play throughout the entire song or make it be like the main part of the climax. Riff does both, fits the theme of air perfectly. It's just like so perfect.
It's really good.
It's so impactful to the song, and it's like oh, it's playing the entire thing. Yet it also like takes like main not main melody but close to main melody in the outro in the climax. It's perfect.
He somehow makes an electric, like, rock guitar work in a blissful song.
He's even more pog in the soundtrack when he gets all of those, like, you know, riffs.
Meow.
Yeah, he's sick. Riff overall is just like, he is so, like, perfectly done on this island.
The only other island where he, like, even remotely has Air Island is, like, Continent.
Yeah.
Riff
Even
is,
then,
like,
it's not.
Riff is the best boss monster, but, like, overall, as a quad, he's kind of...
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. But like we're talking about Air Island Rift specifically and him as a boss, and it's completely great because like you got his first track, the do 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 do. It's another case of like what happens with the percussion, except with the bass. Okay, so first you have the bass melody in the intro, the do 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 do. It's like a really simple, really amazing. It's great, and then you have the same thing happen with like size. Everything's simple, and then afterwards, like everything progresses. Again, it's like perfect structure. I think Air has the best structure and for any MSM song, honestly.
Well,
And then
minus Weirdos.
yeah, obviously. But yeah, like the bass structure, and like so then the riff takes over the bass and does the bass's melody, but on the electric guitar, and it's like it fits so perfectly and it makes perfect sense and everything just progresses next so perfectly. And then Mammoth takes over the bass's job of being a bass with his hey yo. Everything just builds up perfectly. And then afterwards it's like, oh bro, it's time for the climax. So everything like starts slowly ramping up, step, like instead of like, T-Rox taking his steps and then Riff just doing a single guitar like new introducing it up. He's getting it up, he's building it up, and then afterwards the climax hits, and then he goes into chord mode, and he's super sick, and then he does the do 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 to be the mix up at the end, and everything works perfectly. He's probably like I don't even know if he's the best monster of the time, but I feel like he deserves to be take the number one spot. He just like
He
pulls his
does
weight
so much
perfectly.
work.
He does everything on this island. He does everything and he does it perfectly. And if it wasn't for the Wordos, it'd be the perfect island.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I don't really have anything else to add because you, like, literally perfectly explained Riff. Anyone else got anything to add to that?
No, that is Riff.
Yours is pretty good.
Yeah.
Josh,
Like a chicken.
What, Pommy?
I said he looked like chicken.
Yeah,
Riff's
and he looks like a
chicken.
chicken. 10 out of 10.
We don't talk about design much, but I think like if we're gonna be sucking his cock anyways, because he's a
Whoa.
cock. Listen,
Oh.
I
he's
get it. He's a chicken.
He is
exactly. Let's also talk about the design aspect and like the entire like living guitar thing, just to add the extra quirk.
Gotta be honest, I used to hate Riff's design because he was just like a giant face and I didn't like it.
He's Eggman, but he's Funny Egg.
It was always the mouth. I never liked the mouth, like the leech mouth.
I see.
Wait, that was
That
a
makes sense.
bird.
But
No.
now Rift's design is swag.
No. We gotta talk about Riff designs. We gotta talk about the old Riff.
Old Rift?
Yeah.
The concept?
Oh,
Riff.
yeah, that one. No, that one was...
Scary.
I wonder what
It
the
felt like-
guitar's name is.
I think it's
Probably
like
called
Samuel.
Guitar.
Wait, what?
Yeah, it's Samuel.
I wonder if,
Yeah,
like...
because he's a mule.
Someone should ask if the riff guitar has an official name.
That's a good idea. That's a good why. Not my streaming monsters question.
Yeah,
But yeah,
that's Riff. Riff is
I
swag.
think I don't know what the case is going to be, but I think Rip is amazing. Easily going to take those like spoilers if you decide to watch for the YSM episode. He's probably going to be number one.
Probably, yeah. Alright, but
And
now
that's
we gotta do the also painful task of talking about Air Island in its entirety.
amazing,
We
except
talked
for the
about
end.
we talked about so much good shit in the island, and it makes it so much more painful that in its current state,
It's
Air
meh.
Island is not that great.
But it's like I think it's one thing to see like Plant Island go from amazing to complete garbage, but like Air Island is even. It's like it just feels so much worse because it goes from the at one point the best island in the entire game for like a solid year. It went from that from the best island in the entire game to like not even laughably bad, just meh.
Yeah. Because, like, it's got rare Wubbox now, it's got Wubbox now, it's got the Weirdos. The Weirdos destroy the pacing of the island, and then rare Wubbox destroys any of the verses that you liked before that pacing problem.
Like the holy trinity of Quibble, T-Rox, and Riff are like Atlas at this point, and they just got like the entire like everything just on their shoulders weighing them down, and it's like they haven't even buckled yet, but it's like, bro, it's depressing to watch this because it's not gonna get any better. He's gonna be stuck there forever.
Yeah,
Oh,
the
it's-
epic Wubbox is going to be the straw that breaks the camel's back.
No,
I
here's the
really
thing.
hope it isn't.
Back to the Atlas Rift T-Rox Pango thing. He's holding up the entire island, but then the Wordos are just like putting more weights on top of what they're holding by making them play throughout the entire Wordoverse.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
They put the weight on their back, and then the Weirdos tell them to walk across the street.
Yeah.
Air Island's just depressing.
No, Mr. Zamboni, why do you hate every single island? You're the I hate everything of MSM. Even though me and Abed are definitely influential in that. No, it's all you.
I mean, I'm the one that makes the public. I'm the
Sure.
one that does it publicly.
You make the public.
You make the public.
Listen, now listen. Listen. Wait. I gotta just do something real quick. Okay, listen. Here's the thing. Okay, before we just fully let this island be garbage, I just really want to take in the entire fact that like this island used to be so good and it was amazing and it was great and it was the best island.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
like I said
absolutely.
before, like the structure of the song was so intricate and yet simple. Like that's the beautiful thing about MSM. But like, what's it called? No one really talks about it, but like the structure is just so good and it's so simple and that makes it work so perfectly. And then afterwards, they just didn't do anything with it, and by that I mean destroyed it.
I mean, for the sake of Air Island, I'm still willing to give it like a solid 5 out of 10.
Listen, I'll give it a 7. Honestly, it's still good.
I can't look past Rare Box.
That's okay. You know what? 6.
Yeah, I'm saying 5.
What about you, Pommy?
I'm safe. 5.
Alright.
Yeah. And
Wait. I just realized one thing.
What?
We forgot to talk about Krillby.
No!